Hello everybody. Today we'll talk about BNC connectors and cables. So the BNC stands for Bayonet Neill Concelman, named after its inventors. The BNC connector is a miniature quick connect disconnect radio frequency connector used for a coaxial cable. It is designed to maintain the same characteristic impedance of the cable and is one of the most widely used, not only RF connectors but also widely used in acoustics. So let's talk about the history of BNC cables. So as I mentioned earlier, BNC is named after its inventors. So let's look at some inventors. Paul Neill, who was an electrical engineer at Bell Laboratories, invented the N connector. Now the benefit of N connector was it had a slimmer profile, but the disadvantage was that it took lots of time to connect and disconnect. On the other hand, Carl Concealman, who was also an electrical engineer at Amphenol, invented the C connector. Now, the advantage of C connector was it used a bayonet mounting, which paved the way for quick connect and disconnect. But on the other hand, the disadvantage was it was huge. So, both the N and C connectors have their advantages and disadvantages. So it made sense to, combine the advantages of both. And that's where Octavio Salati of Hazelton Electronics combined the best of both worlds. He designed a connector with the bayonet mounting feature of the C connector and the slimmer profile of the N connector, and hence the name BNC. So let's look at the structure of the male BNC connector. So this is a front view, and as you can see here on the two sides, you have those bayonet fixing lugs, which would mate with the female portion of the connector. And here you have this contact pin. So this is the side view. So as you can see here, this bayonet lugs are actually undergoing a turn. So because you're going to be inserting this male connector into the female and turning it by a quarter turn so that it locked. And you have this knurled edge so that you can hold it. And this is usually the male connectors are most probably the cables, or we call them BNC cables. So how do you connect it? So the BNC connector features a twist-to-lock design. It has two bayonet lugs, as we saw earlier, on the female portion of the connector, which would engage with a slot in the shell of the male portion of the connector. Now, we saw earlier the male portion, but the female also has those lugs. So mating between male and female portion is fully achieved by quarter turn of the coupling nut. So let's look at pictorially. So on the left side, you have this female BNC connector, and it has the lug on one side and on the other on the diametrically opposite side. So usually female BNCs are found on microphones or data acquisition system. And this is the male BNC, so usually it's a BNC cable. So how do you connect it? So simply insert the male cable into the female cable. You see here there's a bayonet lug here as well. So this is going to first attach, and then you're going to turn it by a quarter turn so that this is completely locked. And that's how you connect the male BNC to the female BNC. So what are the advantages of BNC connectors? BNC connector uses a bayonet fixing. It prevents accidental disconnection if the cable is pulled or moved. So there is a quarter turn. So in order to remove it, you need to unturn at that quarter turn so as to remove it. It's not just going to come out with a simple pull. So BNC connectors maintain the same characteristic impedance across the whole connector. So this ensures that there is no loss due to the presence of the BNC itself. And it's simple, lightweight, it can be quickly connected or disconnected. So there are also certain ancillary connectors. These connectors are required to accomplish custom connections, and there are several types. So one is the female to female connector. So as you can see here, both sides are females. Now this is typically used when you have a shorter cable. So when you have a shorter cable, the cables have both sides male connectors, and if you want to, either the one solution is to get a longer cable, but that might not be always feasible, but you can always make a bigger cable by connecting these two ends to the two cables. So there's a male cable connecting here, another male cable connecting here, and boom, you have a very big cable. So there are different other ancillary connectors as well, such as the T connector. So this is a BNC connector that resembles a T shape. So usually the bottom of the T has male plug, while the horizontal left and right have the female plug. So here this is like the bottom or the top. So one end of the T has this male and this has the female plugs. So you can use it to accomplish multiple custom connections. Now it totally depends on your requirement, what you're trying to achieve, or how many sensors do you have, or what is a constraint. It depends totally on that. But you can also have like all three as male or all three as female. This is just a shape. This is an example. And there are other custom connectors, just BNC to LEMO connectors. So where do these BNCs find applications in acoustics? So first of all, the cables are, most probably BNC cables. So they are BNC connectors. Both sides are male BNCs, and they're used to connect several sensors, such as microphones, accelerometers, etc., to the data acquisition system. And usually the data acquisition system and microphones have BNC female plugs, while the cables are always having the male plugs. And this ensures proper mechanical and electrical connection, and you also have these ancillary connectors which are used when you need multiple input outputs or other custom applications. So to conclude, BNC stands for Bayonet Neill Concelman, named after its inventors. BNC connector maintains the same characteristic impedance across the whole connector. It's simple, lightweight, and can be quickly connected or disconnected. Alright, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.